This episode contains discussions of suicide and drug addiction. Listen to your own discretion. It is Monday, the 31st of March, 2025. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. It's another week here on Pigeon Song of the Day, and we're coming up to the end of the show. Today is the last day of March, and April is the last full month of the show, and it's continuing into just the first 4 days of May. So the next few weeks are a little bit less organized, by which I mean I'm just kind of doing songs. I mean, there's some specific days, obviously a lot of birthdays in April. There's some specific days where I'm doing specific songs for people's birthdays and stuff, but a lot of the songs are going to be a bit less organized to flow, because it's just like, well, I want to talk about this song and I only have so many days left, so that's how it's going. But today we're talking about the song Homecoming by Green Day, because I wanted to do this song. It just felt fitting to do this as we're entering the final month here, you know? Home. We're coming home again. This song is from American Idiot. I had completely forgotten that I had talked about Wake Me Up When September Ends. I don't remember if I got into it in that episode, but American Idiot is a concept album that tells a story about various characters called Jesus of Suburbia, Saint Jimmy, What's Her Name. That's not me being forgetful. There's a character called What's Her Name. It's also the name of one of the songs. And this song, Homecoming, is kind of the big finale of the album. The final track is actually What's Her Name to end the album, but this song is kind of the big climax, you know, and it's a long one. It's a lot of different kind of interconnected vignettes. I don't know the story of this album very well, so my lyrical analysis will be kind of superficial. I'm mostly just going by what it says on Genius, but I'll give you the basic idea. I just really like this song. I like a lot of the sections, and I thought it was kind of thematically fitting to do it towards the end of the show here. So without further ado, let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Homecoming by Green Day. So right away, I want to start off by saying this song has a lot of callbacks to previous songs in the album, which I think is really interesting, because this song kind of became the centerpiece of the album. According to someone on Reddit, I'm sure this is found it somewhere. Basically, Billy Joe Armstrong wrote American Idiot, and they were all like really psyched about it. And then Mike Dirnt was just fucking around in the studio, and he started playing this little, you know, nobody likes me, everyone left me, as a joke, because he was alone in the studio. But then when Trey Cool and Billy Joe Armstrong heard it, they were like, that's really good, actually. So they started like recording their own little 30-second bits, and then it just became this whole sprawling thing, and that became the centerpiece of the album for them. So they started making their concept up around that, right? And I think that's really interesting, because the song calls back so much to the rest of the album that you wonder, did those ideas start with Homecoming, or were they added in afterwards as they started to kind of flesh out the album a bit more, you know? So let's talk about the plot of American Idiot. Let's see here. There's a lot of themes about like 9/11, the Iraq War, George Bush, stuff like that. But the actual central like storyline is about a character called Jesus of Suburbia. So there's these characters called Jesus of Suburbia and Saint Jimmy and What's Her Name. And then Saint Jimmy turns out to be a split personality of Jesus of Suburbia. Very Fight Clubby sort of ending to the song. And it comes up in this song here about how that all ends up. There's a stage musical of this, by the way. There was going to be a movie as well, but it kind of just fell apart. But anyway, it starts off with, my heart is beaten from me, I am standing all alone. Please call me only if you are coming home. Waste another year flies by, waste a night or two. You taught me how to live. So, you know, he's just talking about being alone and time flying by with nothing to do. In the streets of shame, where you lost your dreams in the rain, there's no signs of hope, the stems and seeds of the last of the dope. There's a glow of light, the St. Jimmy is the spark in the night, bearing gifts and trust, a fixture in the city of lust. What the hell's your name? What's your pleasure? What is your pain? Do you dream too much? Do you think what you need is a crutch? So, you know, he's talking about coming home, and then he's talking about walking through the streets of shame, where you've lost your dreams in the rain. I mean, this could be referring back to Bullet Rider Broken Dreams, of course. There's no signs of hope, the stems and seeds of the last of the dope. And pretty self-explanatory. There's a glow of light, the St. Jimmy is the spark in the night, bearing gifts and trust, a fixture in the city of lust. So he's kind of talking about like his split personality being kind of the only good thing he has going, sort of. What the hell's your name? Probably referring to What's Her Name? What's your pleasure? What is your pain? Do you dream too much? Do you think what you need is a crutch? It feels like he's sort of questioning himself here and trying to figure out what he wants. In the crowd of pain, St. Jimmy comes without any shame. He says, we're fucked up, but we're not the same, and mom and dad are the ones you can blame. Jimmy died today. He blew his brains out into the bay. In the state of mind, it's my own private suicide. So this is where he says that St. Jimmy is kind of throwing around. He's avoiding responsibility, saying we're fucked up, we're not the same, mom and dad are the ones you can blame. And then Jesus of Suburbia describes killing himself, blowing his brains out into the bay, his own private suicide. Very much, if you know Fight Club, it's very much feels like the ending of Fight Club, you know. And then we go into this faster part, which is the second part of the song. So sorry, the first part of the song is called The Death of St. Jimmy. The second part here is called East 12th Street. It starts off with, well, nobody cares. Well, nobody cares. Does anyone care? If nobody cares. He says that twice. And then Jesus filling out paperwork now at the facility on East 12th Street. He's not listening to a word now. He's in his own world and he's daydreaming. He'd rather be doing something else now, like cigarettes and coffee with the underbelly. His life's on the line with anxiety now, and she had enough and he had plenty. It sounds almost like he's trying to get his life back in order, you know what I mean? Now, what's interesting here is the facility on East 12th Street. Apparently this is referring to Billy Joe Armstrong being arrested for drunk driving, and the Alameda County Sheriff's Office is on East 12th Street, so it's referring to this. Oh, someone else pointed out that East 12th Street is a rehab in LA. Well, it could be referring to either, frankly. They're both fitting. I feel like the rehab is maybe more fitting to the story, but the other one has a personal connection to Billy Joe, so, you know, it could be either, it could be both. Somebody get me out of here, anybody get me out of here, somebody get me out of here, get me the fuck right out of here. I mean, that sounds more like rehab, I suppose. I love the changes of tempo and stuff here, and a lot of dynamic stuff going on, and then so far away, I don't want to stay, get me out of here right now. I just want to be free, is there a possibility? Get me out of here right now. Right! This lifelike dream ain't for me. So it sounds like he's trying to kick the drugs, he's in rehab, but it's kind of, I mean, it's hard to do. And then we get a bit with Mike Dirnt doing the vocals. I fell asleep while watching Spike TV after 10 cups of coffee and you're still not here. Dreaming of a song, but something went wrong and you can't tell anyone because no one's here. Left me here alone and I should have stayed home. After 10 cups of coffee, I'm thinking, where'd you go? Nobody likes you. Everyone left you. They're all out without you, having fun. Everyone left you. Nobody likes you. They're all out without you, having fun. Where'd you go? Go, go, go. Diddle-oo. Jeez. So, you know, it suddenly becomes this, I fell asleep while watching Spike TV after 10 cups of coffee and you're still not here. Jesus of Suburbia is waiting for, presumably, what's her name to show up and she doesn't. So he falls asleep and he still feels alone. Left me here alone. I should have stayed home. After 10 cups of coffee, I'm thinking. He's left alone with his thoughts, you know. And then you get the nobody likes you, everyone left you bit, which is the whole, like, you know, it's the original improvised thing, it seems. But this actually is heard earlier in the album in Letter Bomb, where she's singing that, what's her name is singing that at the start of the song. It's supposed to be like her goodbye that she wrote for Jesus of Suburbia. So he's like repeating this. The words are repeating in his head, you know. Nobody likes you, everyone left you, they're all out without you, having fun. It's this kind of FOMO sort of thing, you know. And then it goes into Rock and Roll Girlfriend, which is such a fucking tonal shift. And it's just Trey Cool going, I got a rock and roll band. It's so silly. So it's, I got a rock and roll band, I got a rock and roll life, I got a rock and roll girlfriend, another ex-wife, I got a rock and roll house, I got a rock and roll car, I play the shit out the drums and I can play the guitar, I got a kid in New York, I got a kid in the Bay, I haven't drank or smoked nothing in over 22 days, so get off of my case, off of my case, off of my case. At one point in the background of this bit, you can also hear, don't wanna be an American idiot, which is interesting. I've always felt this bit is fun, but like feels really out of place. In the inlay, this bit is written on like a postcard signed by someone called Tunny, which confused people at the time. But in the stage musical, there's a new character called Tunny, so this is actually, it becomes part of that narrative, you know? And so it's just this other character that I know nothing about. Again, very surface level analysis, I know, but I want to go through it. So then we get this part 5, we're coming home again. Back to Billy Joe Armstrong singing, here they come marching down the street like a desperation murmur of a heartbeat, coming back from the edge of town underneath their feet. The time has come and it's going nowhere. Nobody ever said that life was fair now. Go-karts and guns and treasures they will bear in the summer heat. The world is spinning round and round out of control again. The 7-Eleven to the fear of breaking down. So send my love a letter bomb and visit me in hell. We're the ones going home. We're coming home again. So, here they come marching down the street like a desperation murmur of a heartbeat. Again, it sounds like walking down the streets of home, right? Coming back from the edge of town underneath their feet. The time has come and it's going nowhere. Nobody ever said life was fair. It just sounds like he's returning home and being disappointed, you know? The world's spinning around and round, out of control again. The 7-Eleven to the fear of breaking down. So send my love a letter bomb and visit me in hell. Again, referring back to the song Letter Bomb. And so it sounds like he wants to send her one back, right? And then we're the ones going home, we're coming home again. And the drums in this part are the drums from We Are the Waiting, which is a song from earlier in the album. And then, so it's home, we're coming home again, home, we're coming home again. I started fucking running as soon as my feet touched ground. We're back in the barrio, and to you and me, that's Jingletown. That's home, we're coming home again, home, we're coming home again. That repeats over and over again. And there's another voice going, no, fuck you, just go, I don't care, I don't know, smash my phone, just go, I don't care, I don't know, I smash my phone. And then it ends with, nobody likes you, everyone left you, they're all off without you, having fun. And that's the end of the song. I started fucking running as soon as my feet touched ground. Sounds like as soon as he got home, you know, we're back in the barrio, and to you and me, that's Jingletown. Like, he gets home and he suddenly starts running, like his mood picks up suddenly. And then the whole we're coming home is like, it feels more triumphant, you know. And then the fuck you, just go, I don't care is like him kind of yelling at his old self, you know, trying to push St. Jimmy out of resurfacing, I guess. And then it ends with the nobody likes you, everyone left you, they're all out without you, having fun, because those vocals are still haunting him. So that's pretty much going to be it. I don't have much else to say. I just really like this song as much as I don't understand the story, and I don't care to learn. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Here we go to the final month. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down. Yeah.